friends. Dun, 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 dun. How many of us have been be friends? What's up, guys? Man, I'm back at it. And the subject I think that we need to kind of talk about is kind of a heavy one, but these two, on the screen is Steve and Laura, they give a good example of this. We're talking about friendships, but what I'm saying, let's get a little interesting with it a little bit, because let's talk about male to female friendship like Steve and Laura got, what I'm saying, which, I mean, Steve and Laura, the Urkels now, they doing their thing now. But, let's talk about, these type of friendships that are now taboo, right? They're now like, people, there's songs all everywhere. Can men and women be friends? Can I be my friend? And, and this type of stuff. And so I want to give, help people to understand this is the first thing, okay? This is the first thing that you got to get is, what you want to do in this life and what God has for you to do. Women, you gonna need men to do it. Man, hey my man, you gonna need women to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to go and have purpose outside of that, right?
Steve? Up there, Juliet. How lovely thou lookest.
Stay in character, Steve. Stay in
Are
character.
you okay? Sure.
Now, of course, we got to go to these two, right? Just to, show the examples of the importance of friendships, between male, female, I'm saying, homegirl, homeboy, what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Good. Some lunkhead for jerk all over your makeup mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But I ruined it for you, too. I mean, you were the best Juliet there ever was.
Talk that.
I made you look like a fool. Believe me, Steve, nobody thinks I'm a fool.
With the jokey joke. So this is what this is what we absolutely love. You're seeing friendship overload. You know what I'm saying? Laura, do we see right now? Steve is in a pit, and what is Laura doing? She jumped in the pit with him to get him out of the pit. How many of y'all would jump in the pit for one of your friends? You know what I'm saying? I mean, period. But especially, if you have that friend, ladies, it's a guy friend, or guys, it's a female friend. Would you go this far? Would you go this far for them?
You did. I mean, they gave us a standing ovation, 5 curtain calls. They loved it so much they wouldn't even let us finish the play. Well, we couldn't finish the play. I leveled Verona.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Thanks for cheering me up, Laura. You're welcome.
Uh-huh.
Another's burdens, to love one another, and for some reason we read into that only woman to woman and man to man. Exactly. That there can't be a friendship between a man and a woman where you are encouraging one another and you are bearing one another's burdens. So we have these traditions that have superseded the word of God. Just strong urging from the Lord that this is a topic that needed to be talked about. That it could actually set some people free, right? And it could actually, we always talk about this epidemic of loneliness that's out there.
Yep.
But would we say that half the population you can't befriend because they are the opposite sex? It's just there's so many levels to this.
It's a great podcast, but I love what they said there, right? Like half the population, you're not allowed to be friends with. It's this taboo thing of. I think, whose fault I think it is, y'all? I think it's Usher's fault, because he came out with the song, what's the name of the song? You make me want to leave the one I'm with, start a new relationship with you. This is what, what I'm saying? Where he started off, they started off friends, or even we got the Houdini, the one that I started out with, with what about your friends, but what we have to understand is that, God has purpose for us to have friendships outside of, ourselves, I have, Steve and Laura on the screen, because like I said, they are, to me, such an example of true friendship, right? And we look at it at this age, they cute and adorable, Steve and Laura, right? And at this age, it's okay, right? It's okay. It's okay for them to be friends. It's okay for them to hang out. You guys probably got kids right now. Like, yeah, my daughter's best friend's a guy, and you don't think nothing of it. But for some reason, when we get older, you know what I'm saying? As we know with Steve and Laura, you know what I'm saying? I told you the Urkel's living good today, but what we do have to look at when it comes to Steve and Laura, the storyline with them is understand that there would not be Urkels. Like you do y'all remember? Do y'all keep game though? You know, Lord, like Lord right here. Laura, we have to understand though, Laura is no longer a Winslow. She's an Urkel. I hope people remember that. She's an Urkel, right? But how she became that is because of their friendship. That's how Laura actually grew in love. That's why I said Steve and Laura grew in love. They didn't fall in love. Laura, she appreciated their friendship. They cultivated this beautiful friendship that turned into romance later. As you see right now, it ain't nothing popping right now. But it ain't nothing popping but the friendship. And so there's such a good example of that, and you have to wonder why. Like, why is this so taboo? And it's so innocent. It's so pure at this age. But then we get older and then there is a problem. And guys, can I tell you why? Can I tell you like I tell you? Guys, it's our sin nature. Our sin nature has come in and corrupted everything, right? The Bible says to the pure, all things are pure, right? And so I hate to say it, guys, I know we don't like to hear that naughty word, sin, but it is, right? We've gone outside of the will of God, and we've gone and, made our own design of what marriage looks like and all that. And we've done it with friendships, right? So now, you look at a man and a woman, and they can be the best of friends, and somebody, they think they're doing something. I just want to really encourage people in that, especially, my believers, especially my Christians. Understand, you are not going to be able to fulfill your purpose without, women, without the men, and men without the woman. And, and I just wanted to encourage people, you will not fulfill your purpose cutting off half the population. That's half the population. Ladies, if you're like, no, I can't, I can't do purpose with a guy, then it's like you're cutting off half the population. Women, men, if you say, oh, no, I can't be friends with no. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you, man, you're not going to fulfill your whole purpose. Because I can see some of y'all dudes like, oh, for real bad. I saw this little cutie at work and we were kind of vibing. I'm about to try to make her my friend. No, that's not it. Okay, our ladies like, oh, I saw this dude driving to work. He had a nice car. I'm trying to be friend. We're not talking about just like when I talk about Steve and Laura, right? That Steve and Laura had a special friendship. It was special, right? It was, and what did we see? It was cultivated. It was very, very biblical. You know what I'm saying? You saw the support. They encourage each other. They get mad. Yeah, Laura gets mad at Steve. That's a part of life, guys. Like, get over it. Laura gets mad at Steve, but they make up. They forgive. They see the best in each other, right? So we're not talking about this type of friendship like, oh, cutie, is she cute? I'm trying to see what's up. No, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, that's your lust talking, brother. Okay, or ladies, you trying to, get up on the come up because he's rolling around in a new car. Stop it. That's not what this is. Okay, don't feed your fantasies. This is not about fantasy. This is about purpose, right? So let's go here real quick, and because we're gonna end this thing. It says, follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love. Okay, so what we got to understand about these friendships that we're talking about, like I gave my example, they're ordained by love. They're ordained by God's love. They will be motivated by love. Okay, it says, and gave himself as a fragment of offering a sacrifice to God. But look here. This is what we need to pay attention to here. Okay, it says, but among you, there must not be even a hint of, well, I don't know if we can say that word. Y'all see it, horizontal polka immorality, shout out Steve Urkel, right? Or of any kind of impurity or greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. He's talking women and men. This is the example you need to follow. This needs to not be in that, right? So we got to understand that. So this is Kim Cash Tate and Spec, and they call it the gospel friendship. For me, what I call it a crazy faith friendship. When you have friendship, as you see on your screen here.
Are thoughts and actions that lacks reason. Mm-hmm. But trusting fully in what you cannot explicitly prove.
Right.
I'm going to say it one more time because some of you got that in your head, but we need it to drop to your heart. Thoughts and action that don't make no sense. This lacks reason. Why in the world would I do that? That doesn't make, I went to school for something completely different. There's no logical, eschatological way that this would be able to ever systematically happen. Like, it don't make no sense. It lacks reason.
Right.
But for some reason, I trust it.
Right. Thank you, Michael Todd, Pastor Todd, for, helping us understand, and that right there, you can apply to life, But the reason why I like to call these, relationships that God is cultivating and that he's trying to cultivate, from man to woman, woman to man and why I say it's a crazy faith friendship is because he just said it's something that it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? In today's culture, it lacks reason. Like, this don't halfway, you know what I'm saying? This don't sit, this ain't right. But for some reason, I trust it, right, is what he said. And so that's why I said these, like I said, Kim calls it a gospel friendship, but I call it a crazy faith friendship. Because in today's culture, right, it takes crazy faith to believe, first of all, in friendships, period. But to believe in the fact that, like, wait a minute, God, we can't underestimate, and be fearful of friendships because maybe we're scared of our own sin. Right? Because we're scared that maybe we will, I told you, Usher messed it up, you make me want to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? He on his lust tip and he messed it up. And it's like, no, God talks. That's why God tells us about, having self-control and trusting God, to sustain the relationship instead of having fear. Oh, gosh. Oh.
And by all means, keep it.
Yeah. We don't want, yeah. Once again, we're just going, going down memory lane, but just looking at some of these examples of when Steve and Laura showed great friendship.
Thanks. Now, tell Stevie what's bothering his little Laura Pooh.
Ted and I had a terrible fight.
Oh, boy.
Right. Yeah. It's winning time, baby.
What happened?
Well, I went to the cafeteria to meet Ted for lunch. He was blatantly flirting with Chantel Schwartz.
Ted, what happened?
Now look, this is the show right here. we know what Steve is, you know what he's doing and everything. But just what I want to point out, this is a part of friendship, guys. Look at the attentiveness that he's showing her. You know what I'm saying? I think that is very important. Attention to detail. Steve went all the details. Give me all the juice, girl. Give me all the juice.
You know how Chantel is.
Mm-hmm.
First, she wiggled past him. And then she said, "Hello, Teddy. You're looking fine, baby."
That tramp.
Then I said his flirting was getting out of hand. So then he said, maybe we've been seeing.
Look at Steve. I'm loving it. And let's just remember here with Steve is that he's being, what I love about this the most that you see here is, remember, Steve is in love with Laura, right? And so this is good news. You know what I'm saying? This is like the best news that he could get. But what I love is that we have to look at that a lot of people struggle with, guys like, I ain't about to be friends with no female. She ain't about to be my chick. Or, women, that ain't about to be I'm not going to be friends with him if that ain't my dude. And you see here with Steve is totally in love with Laura. And she's not on the same page as him. But what is he willing to do? He's willing to be her friend. And I love it.
Too much of each other. So then I said, maybe we should cool for a while. And before I knew it, we were breaking down.
Oh, my poor baby.
Yeah. Steve, you winning all the ways right now. You winning in all the ways. Let me count the ways, huh? Yeah.
I didn't really want it to end.
I know.
Right. Opportunity knocks. Opportunity is knocking once again. Get it, Steve. I just love this hair because what is he doing? He's getting his snuggle on, okay? He's getting his sneaky snuggle in, but he's also being a friend. That's why he's winning on all levels right now.
This is a terrible tragedy in your life. You're just going to have to pull yourself together and look on the bright side.
Good advice, Steve. Good advice.
Friendship, between a man and a woman, the main thing you hear are the warnings.
Warnings and the horror stories.
Warnings and the horror stories, which
Right.
is valid. Which is valid. We know warnings are valid, that we're dealing with people of the opposite sex, and you know, and I know for me, when I felt like God was calling me to walk on this journey with you, I did a lot of praying and questioning.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the warnings were in my head. I'm a married woman. That's like all the red flags.
Yeah, every red flag. And then you're a married woman. It's all the red flags. It's like, no, you guys definitely should not be friends.
Yeah, and this was something I would talk to the Lord about often.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
this cannot be you, Lord.
Yeah.
This absolutely cannot. And so I would be praying, do you really want me to walk with him? And not just praying, do you really want me to, but I would be coming against that. Like, Lord, can you just find somebody else
Okay, so
to walk with him? Like, why do you have me on this journey? Like, because it became undeniable that he wanted me on this journey with you. I was burdened to pray for you and all these things, and I'm just like, this just doesn't make any sense, Lord. I do not want to be outside of your will. That's what I kept praying. Like, my ministry is clean. So I just kept praying, like, Lord, I want to cling to you. Things he would remind me of, that we're supposed to love each other. You're supposed to bear with one another. You're supposed to do all these things. And like, we're commanded to love God, and then love one another as ourselves. So if we bring that to this personal level, I am commanded to love you as myself. And that's just like,
right. So it's just like, obviously that's a commandment, not a request. Commandment. So
And so just want to end it and understand, and this is not what this is about. These crazy faith friendships, or like Kim Cash says, these gospel friendships. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about these friendships that God brings together to fulfill purpose, right? To fulfill your purpose. And you can't, I'm just telling you, it's going to be very hard for you to fulfill your purpose. Women, if you just like, I just got to run with the women, or men, I just got to run with the men, you're not going to fulfill your purpose. But this is not about like, oh, because you saw cutie down the block. This is not that. Okay, just so we understand, this is not that. This is not on some lust stuff. This is not on some horizontal poker type stuff. This is not even romance at all, right? This is about friendship. This is about purpose. This is about love, and understanding that what the world has deemed as wrong and bad, in God's eyes and kingdom, he's like, no, this is what I need to bring my will to pass on the earth. Right. And so that's what I want to encourage people in, and understanding that, that God has a purpose. Amen. No. Can you look at this woman as your sister? No, she too cute. Okay, get your flesh under subjection. Can you look at this woman as somebody that you're going to go do purpose with? Ladies, my ladies, can you look at this man as somebody that you're going to do purpose? No, he look good though. He look good. Okay, no, but can you look? You see what I'm saying? We got to get our sin nature under subjection to even be able to be used by God, and understand this too. For your purpose to even come to pass, you got to get that under subjection, or God is not even going to be able to use it. Be able to use you. And I promise you, I don't know who you are, but I feel it in me. There is somebody I'm speaking to right now that God has great things in store for you. But you got to get some things under subjection. You got to open your eyes and broaden your horizon, and understand that a woman may come into your life more just for romance, but for purpose, right? I know men that are like, no way would I be. I have men in my family that are like, no, if she ain't on that red light special, you know what I'm saying? If she's not a family member, I don't want nothing to do with her, right? And I'm just saying, you're missing out on the beauty of friendship that God has ordained. Trust me, God has ordained friendships between a male and a female, between woman and man, just as much as he has other friendships. But it is our sin nature and the ways of this world that has damaged our view on that, you know. And so I'm hoping to open up some people's eyes, you know, and maybe push you towards purpose. Maybe God's going to bring this guy into your life and you're going to open your eyes and be like, hey, maybe he's here for purpose. Maybe he's not here for my purpose, but maybe he's coming into my life for God's purpose, right? So I just want to encourage people in that, man. We got a part 2 coming up. But yeah, man, as I always say, love God, love people. You know what I'm saying? And may God bless you. And